Hey Mom Lifers, Sarah Smith here on Not Your Mama's Mindset podcast, and I am leaving a graduation party, and I just had to get on here and talk to you guys about quality relationships and why that's so important. So I have to tell you guys a little story. I had a little girl when she was probably around 5 in cheer camp. So I was around 13 or 14 years old, and I had her in cheer camp, and then I had her in youth football cheerleading later on whenever she was in like 5th or 6th grade. And then I just went to her graduation party. So I've known her for 12 years. And it just really struck me that I am an adult now. And quality relationships are so important. And, you know, I was 13 or 14. And, you know, I was in cheerleading and high school varsity cheerleading, and you know, I could have just blown off those kids and just like done that because that was part of my job as a varsity cheerleader, is leading cheer camp. But this little girl, Emily, really struck my heart, and I didn't want to just blow her off. Me and Kelly Warford were the teachers of their little group, and we made them cards and goodie bags, and in each of the cards we wrote like a specific individual message to each one of them, and it just lit their little eyes and hearts up, and it made us feel so good about that, that we were like harnessing those relationships, and they really looked up to us. And to be writing in a card to Emily 12 to 13 years later, and just telling her, you know, it's been a beautiful journey getting to watch you grow up, and I'm so thankful that you've let me be in your life until now, and you're doing great, and just like tell her things that I wish someone would have told me whenever I was going off to college. It just feels great. It feels like soul aligned, to have quality relationships with people like that. And, you know, since you're a mom, most of my listeners are moms, since you're a mom, you have to foster those quality relationships, because if you don't foster it now while your kids are little, then there isn't going to be a relationship to pick up the pieces to down the road. For example, me and my mom have never had a very good relationship. Things are just now getting better, and they're still rough. And I'm almost 25. But growing up was very hard. She was a lot harder on me than she was to my little sister, and you know, she had some personality trait disorder type of actions. I don't really know how to say it. She was never diagnosed, but showed some like narcissistic behaviors, and had depression and anxiety, which got passed down along to me. And I'm kind of starting to see it get passed down to Lainey, which really hurts me because she's only 5. But just to be real and open with you guys, but the thing is, it's just now getting better for me and Mom, but it was almost past the point of no return. I mean, we've been physical with each other, mentally abusive, and just awful. We've had an awful relationship, and it's just now getting better. And that's the important thing. Most of my listeners have young children, and so at this point in your children's lives, it is so important that you just cradle that relationship with each and every one of your children and hold it so important in your life. We were sitting out on the porch today, and my husband was like, Sarah, I just want to see a little bit more of you caring and wanting to spend quality time and do things with the kids that they want to do and that I want to do. Not just hang out with each other, but physically get up and do something with all of us as a family. I just want to see more of that out of you. And as much as that hurt my feelings to hear, I needed to hear it, because quality relationships are so important. And if you are the mom of the family, everyone is looking to you for relationship guidance. And so, sometimes people say the head of the household is the husband, or the spiritual leader is the husband, or whatever. But always the one that is meant to heal boo-boos or broken hearts or help you when you're down is supposed to be your mom. So I encourage you, if you are a mom and you are listening to this, to just foster and nurture and grow those relationships with your kids while they're young, so you don't have to wait 25 years and then pick up the broken pieces that you've let behind. And I know if you have preteens or teens or even 20-something children and you're listening to this, that age range is super hard, right? I mean, your child's trying to be independent and make their own decisions, but they still want your support, but not too much support, right? And you have to find that balance, and that balance of parenthood and friendship, and it's just a messy time of parenthood. And I'm looking forward to it, but what I have to say to you, if you have children that are that age now, is your children are now to the mature enough mindset point to where if you haven't had the best relationship, again, you can sit down with them and have an adult, real conversation and admit that you messed up and tell them what you're going to do differently and start doing that. Because nothing is better to a child than a parent who is willing to admit that they do wrong stuff sometimes too, and they mess up too. And the point is that you're changing moving forward, and they can see that. That's what they want from you. I can tell you that from experience, because I'm that 20-something child to my mom right now. And what I just wish that she could, that I just wish I could tell her is, I don't want to pick up broken pieces. I want you to just support me for who I am now. No matter what our relationship looked like in the past, I just want it to be different moving forward. And that would show me that she cared and that she loves me and that she cares about where our relationship is headed, versus doing nothing about it and keeping things the way they are. And a fight always breaks out and we get a stressed relationship and a strain. So if things were changed, that would change too. The outcome would change. So just quality relationships are so important, you guys. And if you are a mom, you are looked at as the relationship leader of your household, of your family. I mean, your kids, your husband, your friends, younger girls that are looking up to you, they are all looking at how your relationships are. They are looking at your relationships as influencers, as guidance, as leaders in their lives. So it's just really important for you, for the receiving end of your relationship, whether that's your kids or your husband or your parents or whatever, and for those around you, that you do foster and grow those quality relationships. There's so many different reasons that it's so important to nurture the relationships you do have in your life, and also be open and willing to reach other people's lives that you don't know. That's something that I've seen so strongly influence my whole life long. I have always been the girl that will reach out to the unreached and touch the broken and talk to the people that don't get talked to, and you have no idea what anyone around you is looking for. You offering to hold the baby that's throwing a tantrum when a mom's 3 other children are trying to go crazy in the grocery store could mean the difference of her having a suicidal thought when she gets home. Or you reaching out to that young girl that's you always see her on Facebook and she looks like she's struggling, and just offering her some words that you wish you would have heard at that age. There's so many different relationships you can have with people in this world, and the thing that matters the most is that it's a positive one, and that you make a positive impact and influence on their life. So, that's what I'm all about. And whenever I was reading You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero last night, intuition just came about while I was reading that chapter, and it said, write a book, Sarah. So I've thought about that, and I am a really great writer, so I'm going to start that. Intuition told me to do that, and I believe that I was guided to do that. I also took a huge step and paid for and enrolled in the Slay Coach's Impactful Influence course, and I'm a VIP of that. I've never invested that big of amount of money in myself or in my business, and that is what it's all about. My heart was pounding, my stomach had butterflies, and I just clicked checkout. And I had already put my card in, and I clicked checkout, and I was like, I just did this. I had the balls to do it, and I know it's going to change my life, because when you do things like that just seem out of reach and that are so exciting and fearfully exciting, and you just so look forward to what comes next and the outcomes that come from it. So that will be another podcast at another time, you guys. But thank you so much for listening. And just remember, quality relationships, right? You guys, you can have so many different types of relationships, but make sure they are all positive ones. Talk to you guys soon.